I am temple for womanhood, closet for man. I am trinkets and embellishments with ownership presumed. I am moat unfinished, wide blind spot, a target. I was palace, then hall, then ransacked by military, taunted with violence, framed as education. I am bombed and burned and spat on by children. So tear up your tickets and instead tour my form. I am queer space.
My name's Kane Husbands, and I directed this piece called Shout Out Loud. It's a site-specific promenade piece in Eltham Palace, which is a heritage site with English heritage. And we've been working with an LGBTQ+ community and some NYT members to animate some of the stories that came about from the history of this building.
My name's Jamie Cottle. I use they, them pronouns.
I'm playing King Edward II.
So the Eltham Palace project is essentially going to be an immersive theatre experience through Eltham Palace, focusing on the untold stories, the queer stories, and also our stories. Yeah. How can we inject our stories into Eltham Palace?
Where history is like a timeline of events, of things occurring around places, heritage is the energy within a space and the feelings that people and events create within it. It's the connection. That's heritage.
So by doing things like this, it is just inclusive and representative, and it's truth. It's owning the queer stories that came with this site. I'm a Black, Asian, queer woman, and I've got to play a powerful, like, white, famous, homophobic queen. Her husband, Edward II, had an affair with a man, Piers Gaveston.
You're looking older today, Gaveston. What? Yeah, the way you hold yourself.
The way I hold myself? Do I hold myself well? Oh, badly?
No, not a bad way, just well done.
Great. Thank you, Your Majesty.
You're welcome.
Your Majesty, what would you be if you could be anything?
I weren't king, you mean?
Yeah, if you could choose to be anything, what would you choose?
Well, I sometimes wish that I were normal.
Oh, sorry.
But you asked the question.
Yeah, I know.
That's my answer.
Yeah, that's such a stupid answer.
Don't laugh at it.
It's funny, though.
Normal's good.
Edward, I love that you're not normal. I think you're very useful, Edward.
Pierce, if you knew you could succeed at anything, what would it be?
It'd be telling you that I love you.
Isabella? Is it over? She's never spoken to me like that. They never did that to me, so...
That was Gaveston, wasn't it?
Yes. Edward's favourite. Or more than Edward's favourite.
I could see that.
Some things are just too hard to relive.
What we're trying to do with this story is to show that these people are just like us and were just like us. To meet the characters, not just to see them walk onto a stage and walk off. It gives an almost more immediate and a closer connection to this story and these characters and these people.
Mainstream history, what often gets told are stories about kings and queens, very rich people, people who exist, whose lives are very well documented, but that's really a fraction of the history and heritage and stories of the lives of people who lived in the world.
And doing this, we're kind of like filling in the blanks. And we're taking what we know to be authentic and putting it in and punching them back in so that you can see the full story, so that you can get a feel for what they actually were and who they really were.
Well, when I'm with you, you make me feel like I'm naked in the middle of the road, completely vulnerable, completely like, how the hell did it get here? Naked on the road. Sort of made me feel like that.
That's horrible.
Don't worry, it's not. Are you sure? Because what you just said sounds horrific. It feels scary.
Yeah, because it sounds scary.
Like, nervous maybe, but really lovely.
Lucy?
Yes, my lady?
Be a darling and see the drawing room.
Yes, of course, my lady.
This isn't happening. Collect your things.
These people, these real life people, were never heard, and it feels like it's our responsibility to finally give them a voice and to empower ourselves to have our own voices.
All young people who are queer, no matter where they're coming from, no matter what their experiences are right now, I think it's really important that all of them are part of uncovering that history.
Meeting everybody, all of these different people of different cultures and races and sexualities and genders. I've learnt so much.
When you're working with somebody who might not think of themselves as an actor, working with people from Metro Zest, actually a lot of the work they produce is really, really, really strong and really inspiring.
Henry VIII was the last monarch to spend substantial time here. He spent most of his childhood here, which is why they picked me. I'm the youngest here.
Your worship.
He's being prepared for the hardships of being king. Is he prepared to be a man, is what I'm asking you.
Is he on his way? Bishop, unpack that basket immediately. Mary, did you pack everything in there? The teddy bear?
Check.
The bouncy balls?
Check.
The trumpet?
Check.
And the flute? Mary, you forgot the flute! I can kill you! Now, ladies and gentlemen, please collect yourselves. The little boy who's about to arrive might be small, but he is in fact Prince Henry, future King of England.
I'm here.
Henry.
Where's my flute?
Well, you see, Henry, someone forgot to put it in the basket.
Debbie!
I'm not quite sure that's necessary.
With her head.
Or instead, I catch the bishop, who's so much slower than I am.
No, don't do that. Please don't.
Actually, one of the great things about history is that the stories are just really exciting if they're told in the right way and really compelling. It's a human impulse to be able to relate to what came before. We don't just emerge from nowhere.
And I think it's been incredibly powerful for our young people who don't necessarily hear about their queer history through school or through different places where they might access history, to see that actually these kind of spaces do have a really amazing history and that they're part of that, to be able to know that you're not alone within your present and you're also not alone within your past as well.
Can imagine the worlds, this gorgeous Art Deco space. It was designed by two male lovers. The Edward II Great Hall. It's a mix match of different styles, which I think as queer people we sort of gravitate towards. It feels right that we're doing this project because we're actually getting to show queer people in a queer space.
When there are people who are growing up not knowing that the kings of this country have been just like them, then of course they're going to feel alienated and feel like they're not welcome in their own country, in their own spaces, when really that should never be the case.
For the young people to take ownership of that space and ownership that this building belongs to them. This building has now had its identity reunited to it in a way that I think it's probably been erased.
We do not demolish. We recognize complexity and we build outwards, decorated in decadence. Bitter and bruised, you are not allowed to touch us. No one ever gets to touch us. So tear up your tickets and instead tour our halls. We are Queer Space.
I want to sort of create a piece of theatre which makes the people that feel unwelcome and that feel like English heritage sites aren't for them, it's actually their right to be there, because these sites aren't just also for us, In this case, they are designed for us and by us.
I gazed upon the earth, observed every faltered line and time. She moved so slow, it taxed my